What rights do I have during my probation period? Starting a new job is exciting, but also nerve-wracking, especially if your employer puts you on a probationary period. Many workers wonder, what rights do I actually have during probation? Does probation mean you can be fired at any time? Do you still get minimum wage and overtime? Are you covered by discrimination laws? What about health insurance, family leave, or the right to join a union? Employers sometimes use the word probation as if it means workers have fewer rights, but the truth is more nuanced. In this video, we'll break it down step by step. We'll explain what probation really means, what protections apply under federal law, how discrimination and workplace safety rules still cover you, how benefits are handled, and what to watch for with contracts and unions. By the end, you'll know exactly where your rights stand during probation and how to protect yourself. Probation does not erase federal protections. First, let's be clear. The term probation is mostly an employer's internal policy. It does not erase your rights under federal law. Whether you are a Day 1 hire or a 10-year veteran, laws like the Fair Labor Standards Act, F.L.S.A., Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, ADEA, still apply. That means you are entitled to minimum wage under the F.L.S.A., overtime pay for more than 40 hours a week unless exempt, protection against discrimination based on race, gender, religion, disability, or age, a safe workplace under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA. Example: if a restaurant hires you as a probationary server, they cannot legally pay you $5 an hour on the excuse that you are still on probation. Minimum wage applies immediately. At-will employment and probation. In most of the U.S., employment is at will. That means your employer can terminate you at any time, for almost any reason, with or without cause, unless the reason is illegal, like discrimination or retaliation. Probation often reinforces that at-will status. Employers may use probation to decide if a worker is a good fit, but the law doesn't require probation to fire someone. In fact, even after probation, most employees remain at will. Example: a company hires a warehouse worker with a 90-day probation period. After 60 days, they decide to end employment citing performance issues. That is legal as long as the decision isn't based on a protected category like race or disability. So probation doesn't remove rights, but it does remind workers that early termination is possible. Wage and hour rights continue from day one under the F.L.S.A. Wage and hour protections start immediately. Minimum wage, at least $7.25 federally, or higher if state law applies. Overtime, non-exempt employees must earn time and a half for hours over 40. Youth workers, special rules apply for workers under 18, but probation doesn't reduce protections. Pay frequency. State laws often require regular paydays, even for probationary workers. Example: a probationary call center worker logs 45 hours in a week. The employer must pay 40 hours at regular rate plus 5 hours at overtime. Probationary status does not cancel overtime rights. Anti-discrimination laws apply immediately. Probation is no shield for employers against discrimination claims. Federal laws apply from the first day of work. Title VII bans discrimination based on race, sex, religion, or national origin. ADA requires reasonable accommodations for workers with disabilities. ADEA protects workers age 40 and older. Pregnancy Discrimination Act bans discrimination based on pregnancy or childbirth. Example: a woman hired on a 60-day probation discloses pregnancy and is fired the next week. That may violate federal law because probation cannot justify discriminatory termination. Workplace safety. During probation. Safety rules do not pause during probation. The OSJ requires all employers to provide safe workplaces with training, equipment, and hazard reporting systems. Example: a probationary construction worker is told to climb without proper harnesses. If he refuses and is fired, he may have a retaliation claim under OSHA protections. Benefits: health insurance, leave, and retirement. Where probation often matters most is benefits eligibility. Health insurance. Under the Affordable Care Act, ACA, employers with 50-plus full-time employees must provide health coverage to those averaging 30-plus hours per week. Employers can impose waiting periods up to 90 days, which is why probation periods often align with benefits eligibility. Retirement plans. Employers may delay eligibility for 401k contributions until workers meet service requirements. Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA. Requires 12 months of service and 1,250 hours worked, so probationary workers usually are not yet eligible. Example: a probationary office worker cannot access the company health plan until 90 days pass. That delay is legal, as long as it does not exceed the ACA's limits. Union rights during probation. The National Labor Relations Act, NLRA, protects the right of all employees, including probationary workers, to discuss pay, conditions, or join a union. However, probationary employees in unionized workplaces may have fewer protections against discipline or discharge in the collective bargaining agreement. Many contracts allow employers more flexibility in terminating probationary workers. Example: a probationary hospital worker attends a union meeting. The employer cannot legally fire her for union activity, but if the contract allows probationary discharge without grievance rights, she may have fewer remedies. Contracts and employee handbooks. Sometimes probation periods are outlined in employment contracts or handbooks. Employers may set evaluation standards, training requirements, or review processes. Courts generally enforce written agreements, but they cannot override federal or state law. If a handbook says probationary employees are not entitled to minimum wage, that clause is invalid under the F.L.S.A example. A handbook claims probationary workers have no rights to overtime. An employee working 50 hours could still file a successful wage claim under federal law. Real-world examples of probation disputes. Case 1. A hotel worker fired during probation after reporting sexual harassment filed a Title VII complaint and won reinstatement. Case 2. A factory worker injured during probation was denied workers' comp. The court ruled probation status did not matter. Coverage applied. An office worker terminated after requesting disability accommodation during probation won an ADA retaliation claim. Case 4. A probationary worker in a unionized plant challenged dismissal. The court upheld termination because the collective bargaining agreement gave the employer discretion during probation. These examples show the balance. Probation may affect job security and benefits eligibility, but it cannot erase core legal protections. The bigger picture. Probation is a management tool, not a legal category. It allows employers to evaluate performance, but it doesn't strip away federal labor rights. Workers still have wage protections, safety rights, and anti-discrimination coverage. The areas where probation really matters are benefits, eligibility, contractual grievance rights, and the ease of termination under at-will employment. For workers, the lesson is clear. Probation doesn't mean no rights. It means some benefits may be delayed and job security may be weaker. But the law still protects your pay, your safety, and your dignity. So, what rights do you have during probation? Quite a lot. You are covered by federal laws like the F.L.S.A, OSHA, Title VII, the ADA, and the ADEA. You have the right to minimum wage, overtime, a safe workplace, and freedom from discrimination. What probation mainly affects are benefits like health insurance or retirement eligibility, and sometimes grievance rights in union contracts. Probation is not a free pass for employers to ignore the law. If you face retaliation or discrimination, protections apply from day one. If this video clarified your rights, share it with coworkers or friends starting new jobs. Knowing the truth about probation makes it easier to work with confidence from the very first day.